Welcome to Meeting of the Moms, a place to talk about all the things. I'm Amy Rasmussen. I'm a teacher by profession, a wife and mother by choice, an optimist by nature, and happy by design. I'm here with my good friend Lorna, who I call one of my greatest cheerleaders.
Hi, I'm Lorna Adams. I'm a wife, mom, and certified life coach. I strive to embrace and enjoy each new phase of life. Here at Moms, we believe the world is wide open to all of us and that we have unlimited potential. We're so glad you're here.
Spoiler alert. In this episode, we talk about what happens behind the scenes to create much of the magic of Christmas. So if there are little ears around where you are listening, we suggest that you grab your earbuds or pause this episode and come back to listen later.
We are going to dive right in. I want to know what you are excited about, Lorna. What is something that has been just fun and feels celebratory and is exciting for you right now?
My daughter and I ended up decorating for Christmas on Saturday. As we're recording this, we are into December. It's over a week into December. And so maybe 7th of December, we were decorating for Christmas. And typically we do decorate closer to Thanksgiving, and it just didn't work out like we had anticipated or thought it could. And so we were into December before we decorated. But it was just fun. We turned on a show that we've been watching together with lots of episodes, and we just went to town decorating throughout a lot of the day. But it was fun. It worked out great, and it was fun to just spend time with my 17-year-old daughter decorating.
That's awesome. Well, and to be fair, this is a year where Thanksgiving was right at the end, like the Sunday after Thanksgiving was the 1st of December. So you decorated the first weekend of December, but it's already the 7th or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Totally makes sense. Yeah. Well, something that I am excited about is I have realized this week that I would like a little bit of time each morning to do some daily planning. And I actually noticed that this was part of things for my missionary and for the home MTC. And I'm like, why do I not take a few minutes in the morning to do planning? And so I have done that this week. And I also have a little secretary desk in my entryway. I was going to say my foyer. That sounds like I live in a grand house. It's just a really big entryway.
That's what we call it though too. It's a foyer.
Okay.
Amy, it's a foyer.
Yes, it is a foyer. It's really big. I sometimes wish it were not so big and we had another room, but it is what it is. Anyway, so I was like, I am going to sit out here. I don't have any piles out here. I don't have anything that has to be done. I can just open it up, have my little planner. And it's been really nice to be able to come up with the specifics that I want to do. And I've been better at reflection because I'm doing it. So I'm loving that. Of course, I often love things at the beginning. I'm totally an opener as opposed to a finisher. I'm hoping it's something I'm going to just incorporate to what I'm doing.
Well, and I think even if it just lasts for a little while, it's still fun to try something new, right? And
yes,
then
it
you
is.
can go back
Yep.
to your old if you choose to, but it's fun to be changing it up right now. Way to go.
I think I just need that. In fact, maybe you and I both need that. Maybe that's a function of both of us. It's like sometimes we just need something to feel new again. It's
Yes.
like humdrum.
Yes,
even though we like to
spice it up.
plan, it's nice to have new. So
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
All right. We wanted to talk a little bit about Christmas today. Amy, do you want to start us in on more Christmas stuff? I guess that was my celebration.
I guess I do. Sure. Well, before we got on today, we were talking a little bit, and I just said this question out of the blue. I said, what do I need to hear this Christmas? And I don't even necessarily know the answer to that, but I do think it might be a helpful question for all of us to just think, where am I at with Christmas this year or the holidays, and what do I need to hear? And I would say that maybe one of the things I need to hear, I've already been telling myself, which is nice when we're already doing that, right? And that is that it is okay that I am currently living with both fall decorations and Christmas decorations out at the same time. We got our Christmas tree, a live Christmas tree that we went and cut down. We got it before Thanksgiving because of the timing of my son's mission. He was at home MTC for Thanksgiving Day, and then he had his time or whatever, and then he went to the actual MTC. And so I wanted us to have just a little Christmas with him since we wouldn't have Christmas with him. So we did that really early, but I didn't take down Thanksgiving fall stuff because Thanksgiving hadn't happened yet. And so I just kind of had both up, and they're still both up, and we're almost to mid-December. And I'm just thinking like, that is okay. It's okay to be in this in-between zone. Plus, I guess as I'm talking about it, I can have a heart full of Thanksgiving at the same time I can be celebrating the Savior. And really, that's a great combo. a great combo.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree. And I love that it, like, the only reason why it would be a problem is if we decide it's a problem.
Yep.
And if you decide, actually, I get to be grateful and be celebrating the Savior because I am grateful for the Savior anyway,
Yep.
then it's totally fine. So good job.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's good. Do you have any thoughts on that question that you want to throw out there? Because I know you were like, oh, that's an interesting question
Yeah.
when I asked it.
I do feel like my mode over the last couple of years has been to simplify more. I feel like I felt so much pressure at some point, and I just imposed it on myself, that we had to do all of the things. We had to decorate all of the ledges and all of the change out all of our pictures on the walls to Christmas stuff. And anyway, I feel like there were a few years where I really felt like everything, and it had to be perfect too. Even like the Christmas tree, decorating the Christmas tree, I wanted to use the nice ornaments rather than more of the homemade or whatever ornaments. I think we talked about that maybe a little bit last year, but
Yeah,
I
we
just
did.
think keeping things simple has been so much better for my mental health, probably. That I can enjoy the season more when we just put up a tree and our mantle is decorated. And I think that really is pretty much what it is this year. And it just feels great. I can enjoy this season with lots of decorations or little decorations, and it doesn't have to mean I can't enjoy it. I just get to decide, yeah, this is just right for us this year, and that can feel good.
Yep. I think with some of that, one is just getting to know ourselves and figure out which one do I like. Another thing is sometimes we like different things at different times. I remember at one point someone asking me about decorating. They're like, oh, I just don't decorate for the holidays because I don't even know why. But she was just like, I just had to let something go. And I was like, I do it because it's fun for me. If it's not fun for you, absolutely don't worry about it. But I like the change and something fresh, and it breathes life into me to be like, oh, something different. But I'm not someone who wants to like repaint my whole house and redecorate my whole house all the time. So holidays actually provided just the right amount of fresh, new, whatever for me. But this year, because of where I'm at, I don't know that I will decorate as many places. And so I'm also finding that there is more simplicity that I want, and I can put just one little pumpkin there for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, cool, that right there, that's enough. Or for Christmas, I can get out only a couple nativities. I love nativities. Or all I do is get out nativities and the tree, and that's what we do. I don't have to do any of the other stuff. So I think it has to do with figuring out what it is for you. Because what if you had loved all of the decorating everywhere? If that brought you joy, fine. But to identify this is causing me stress was helpful.
I think that was the point, is I was finding this is more stressful and frustrating than exciting and fun. And I do feel like I have lessened a lot of my decorating even throughout the whole year. I have my daughter that's on a mission now. She would love to decorate. So she would be the one that would say, hey, should we pull out our Thanksgiving stuff? Yep, sure. Let's pull out Thanksgiving stuff. She wasn't here this year. We hosted Thanksgiving. So I was pulling out Thanksgiving decorations the day of Thanksgiving that morning to put out table decor and whatever. That's when I decorated for Thanksgiving, was that morning, because that ended up feeling fun to me. Let's do some things on the tables and that'll be fun. So I think you're totally right. I think giving yourself some time to kind of think through it and see what you do enjoy and what is fun to you. And if it's not fun, then don't feel like you have to do anything, because that's actually going to cause more frustration around the holiday or whatever thing it is than actually the fun and the lightness maybe that you want surrounding Thanksgiving or Halloween or Christmas.
Right. Yep. I also was thinking about this. I wonder sometimes, I mean, some of it's just expectation, and some of it feels like, well, this is what the culture demands or whatever we think. But I wonder sometimes too, if some of it's an effect of what we have enjoyed in the past. Have we enjoyed going into a home where everything was decorated and it felt cozy and homey and wonderful? And so then we're trying to recreate that. And I think sometimes getting down to, where does my desire to want to do this come from? And if we realize where it comes from, and if all it comes from is expectation, then we can just be like, sweet, throwing that out. But if it comes from something else, then we can figure out how to create that for ourselves in a way that feels right for us. But sometimes if we don't do the digging, we might throw everything out and then find ourselves being like, why don't I like how it feels to have such a simple Christmas? Maybe, right? Anyway, I just think it's helpful too to figure out like, what is it that's at the root of this? And we don't always have time for that. And I think over the years, we just learn and
Had
grow
to learn.
and get to know ourselves better, you know?
Yeah. Well, but I do love that idea of working toward not comparing ourselves to anyone else. If we truly want that because it feels good and exciting and fun for
Yep.
us, then go for it. But if we're
Yeah.
doing it because we feel like we have to, hopefully we aren't letting it be a competition, but I have to because that's what everyone else is doing, then I think that's going to make it heavy and uncomfortable. And so then it makes sense that we are going to be resistant and be frustrated as we're doing it. So just decide what works for me. What do I want to do this year? And I think too, it can change from year to year.
Absolutely.
Maybe this is a simple year, and then next year I'm going to be more excited to do it. We've even with Thanksgiving, we've hosted every other year. And my husband, he prefers that. He's like, I love hosting every other year. It gives him a break. And he's our turkey guy, but he just is like, it's actually more fun for me to do it every other year than every year. For him, it feels a little too committed to do something every year. And so I find that with other things that he talks about, he likes some space in between things. And so it's helpful. So maybe that's you too. Maybe that's some of our listeners too.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I just love the idea of like, what's the right amount of like space between the time we do it and the next time we do it? That is a great question to ask ourselves just to figure it out. One example of some of this stuff for me is Christmas lights. I love Christmas lights. I will say I love hastily done Christmas lights. Sometimes it's a little much for me when I see what some people do, but it's fine. It's fine that other people like craziness. My husband does not want to put Christmas lights up ever. I'm like, okay, well, I don't necessarily, and I don't know why he would have to do it, but I don't want to get on the roof either and do it. So a couple of years ago, I was able to like string lights, just kind of like loop them on the side of my house. And I actually love how it looks. It looks maybe a little bit more Whoville, but they're just white lights, just simple. And it brings me a lot of joy. And it's something that was within what I could do. And so thinking that it had to be something more elaborate, maybe would have gotten in the way of me actually getting to enjoy what I like, which is the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
just fun to identify.
So good. Well, and I know over the years we've had conversations a little bit about lights, and I remember you helping me decide we could just go grab some lights because my husband hasn't loved decorating either the lights outside. He hasn't wanted to get up on the roof to do lights around edges of the house either. And I remember we had this conversation and I was talking to she was a senior at the time. This is the same daughter that's on a mission now because she loves decorating. So she's probably the one I'll talk about most, but we decided we were just going to go grab some bush lights. I think you had even suggested it.
I remember
so we
this.
could,
okay.
So we could just set that little set of lights that's already together over some of our bushes. It was easy. We just had to pull out an extension cord. And so then at least we had some lights outside that made it feel good to us.
Yeah, I love it. Something this year that I just loved is on Monday, I turned on my favorite Christmas music and just listened to it while I was cleaning. And for me, that's not really secular Christmas music. Not that that's not fun, but my playlist was Christ-centered Christmas music. And it was just so light. And I was reminded again of the power of music for me in changing my mood. So usually when I clean, I want some energy. And I don't get the same energy from listening to a book or a podcast. Sometimes I do that. But when I turn on music I love, then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, let's just keep on getting stuff done.
Totally. And I love it. I think there is so much power in what we are feeding our brain. And I think there is lots of power in music that I am finding too. I feel like over the last few months, that has been more on my mind, just how the spirit is in music. And there's so much power in good, uplifting music. And as you're saying too, even motivating, right? That it can be encouraging and motivating. That's awesome. That's super fun. One of the things that I have done over the last couple years, but again, this year is we have done like a warmer with some yummy scent in our kitchen. And then with that, so we've done a stovetop and we've also done crock pot, little mini crock pot, and had put some scent in there. My 17-year-old has typically liked to do that. She's my 17-year-old now. And so she pulled our stuff out this year and started our little scent thing. And then I also bought we have a fake Christmas tree. This is the first year in a long time that we've put up a fake one. We just bought one. We haven't had one for quite a while. And so I wanted to still kind of have a pine scent. And so I did get a wallflower from Bath and Body Works and have put it in the outlet by the tree. And it smells so good. So between that warmer and the pine, and I wish I could remember what the pine scent is called because it's a really great pine Christmassy scent. But that has been so fun to just add a little bit of Christmas in addition to the decorations too. Any thoughts about that?
Mostly just thinking of Gretchen Rubin, who I love. But she wrote a book called The Five Senses, But she talks about tapping into the five senses. And sometimes there might be a sense that we aren't tapping into. So music would be my sense of hearing. Our decorations, sense of sight. Your scent, that sense of smell. And so as we tap into those different things, I mean, there maybe could even be a soft pillow that's decorative that you get out at Christmas time, and you just know that's the Christmas pillow. But all these things that can be simple can also just really add to it because it taps into those basic five senses. So
Yeah,
that
totally.
was what I was thinking of as you were talking about the sense.
Good. Well, I'm
Yeah.
going to jump in. Another scent of touch we did do. And so I'm kind of stretching a little bit on this one, Amy, but
That's okay.
I found on Amazon, I found an advent with 24 little puzzles that connect to make one big puzzle.
Oh,
so
cool.
We have been using our sense of touch
Yeah.
to be putting these puzzles together. And that's been super fun. My kids have been happy to do it. The truth is, we are not big puzzlers. So I did kind of go out on a limb being like, I'm going to do a puzzle. My daughter on the mission loves puzzles, but the rest of us haven't
She's
done.
not there. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And the rest of us haven't. I used to love puzzles quite a few years ago, but I think just with, I don't know, being a mom and it takes time to do a puzzle. I haven't made lots of time to do puzzles. But with this one, it's been fun. And my 15-year-old son and my 17-year-old daughter both are enjoying it. And so the three of us are doing puzzles a lot of the nights. And it just takes a few minutes. And one of the days we even got out a big puzzle because we wanted to do more puzzling. And so we have a big puzzle that's also out. So we're trying to do the 24, one a day, that small puzzle. And then if we want to do more, we have the bigger one out as well. So that's been fun. That's just been kind of a fun thing.
I don't even think that's that big of a stretch. Absolutely a tactile kind of thing. I think that's really cool. I wouldn't have even thought of that, but it totally fits.
Yeah, good job. That was fun.
That is great. Something too that I've been thinking about is when we got our tree this time, I was like, maybe this will be the year I actually make a wreath out of the extra tree branches. Because every year I'm like, maybe I'll do that. I have a sister-in-law who does it every year. And I'm like, how do you do that every year? She's like, well, it's just so easy. I'm like, it's easy? She's like, well, yeah, because the branches are just there. So just funny what feels easy to each of us. So right now it is my maybe wreath. It is a pile of branches on the driveway that my husband's like, so are we going to throw those out yet? And I'm like, not yet. I might still make the wreath. So I still haven't quite decided. But I have discovered that I like doing something kind of creative around Christmas time. I started a nativity mosaic last year. I didn't get to finish it. And I was like, that's okay. I'll either work on it throughout the year or next December, Christmas will come again. And I will just continue working on it. So I'm trying to decide if I really want to shift my focus to doing the wreath, because I keep thinking like it's going to be pokey. And do I want to wear gloves so I don't get sap on my hands? And so maybe I just am going to realize that kind of wreath is not me and something else is, but I don't know yet. Yeah. So it's a maybe wreath. It's a hope wreath, like a hope chest. It's just sitting on my driveway right now.
I love it. Well, and I think as you're saying that too, for me, sometimes I need deadlines. And so I could also see, for me, if I were in your shoes, being like, okay, by December 15th or whatever date, right? Yep. Even December 23rd. If I haven't done it by December 23rd, then we can throw away the branches. But just so then I can have this deadline, it's arbitrary. I just made up a date. But then it's going to help me decide and make the decision rather than having the dates come and go and I have passed the opportunity. And not that always happens, but sometimes that is helpful for me to choose a date.
And I was actually thinking recently about maybe doing that. Like, okay, for this year, maybe if I haven't done it by this time, I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah. But I haven't done that yet.
I think sometimes we don't need that. There's some things that it's like, yeah, I will or I won't, and it's fine, and I'll decide when I do. And then sometimes it is nice to be like, okay, I'm going to put a date on this one.
Thanks for coming to Meeting of the Moms. We hope it made your load a little lighter. We'd love to hear what's on your mind. Send your celebrations, takeaways, and suggestions for future topics to momswithamyandlorna@gmail.com.
If you enjoyed the show, please like, share, and subscribe. If this isn't the right fit for you, we wish you well on your journey. Until next time, I'm Lorna Adams.
And I'm Amy Rasmussen. See you next week at Moms.